Hello everybody, today we're going to be learning how to play Arabesque on the piano. I'm really excited to go through Arabesque today because this is one of my favorite pieces ever. It's got a lot of really cool techniques in it, so like playing staccato and kind of playfully. Oh, we have lots of position changes, so going around different places on the piano, but not in a way that's overwhelming. So if you're an adult learner, I think this is a piece that you could start out with. It might take you a couple weeks, maybe a month. Or if you're a kid, maybe you've been playing for a year and a half, you would be ready to tackle this piece. Some of the other key things we're gonna go over in this piece is 16th notes. All these da-da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, and also really good use of the offbeat. For example, in this instance where we go, yeah, bum, bum, one, and that's on the offbeat there, which is gonna be really fun to get into. And it really is challenging for the left hand in several parts. And we're gonna learn all about different positions. Jumping right in, whenever we look at a new piece, we wanna just make a couple of observations. The time signature is 2-4. This simply means in every measure of music, we have 2 quarter notes. As you can see, in this very beginning little introduction, there's just 2 quarter notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Etc. Let's just start out with this very first little introduction. If you've been playing piano for a while, you might recognize this as just an A minor chord. So in the left hand, we're gonna put fingers 5 on A, 3 on C, 1 on E. Just like that, all at the same time. And for the technique of this piece, it's very kind of short and playful. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just like that. Very quiet too, not very loud yet. So give that a try, just playing an A minor with our left hand. Cool, moving on to the next part. And this piece can be divided into really 3 sections. We have the A section, which takes us all the way till the, which is in measures 15, 16, 17, 18. And then in measure 19, we go into the new section. We repeat that until we get into kind of an A prime section, which is the same thing that we started with, but there's just a little bit of variation. As you can see. So going back, we're in the A section right here, starting right out where the right hand comes in. Thumb is gonna be on A, and all we're gonna be doing is playing A, B, C, B, A, with fingers 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And what's really cool about this pattern, our first position is kind of this A position with our thumb on A and our pinky on E. Every finger in between has a home. So you can see for the first measure, we just go 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, rest. We have a rest right there. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the same position with a rest. And what's cool about this, whenever we land on the downbeat, they land together. And whenever we land on beat 2, they fall together. 1, 2, off. And there's just a little bit of a rest there. When practicing this at first, it's really hard to get that light feel in the right hand. What we need to be doing is da, da, bum, bum, bum. Do it over and over again, so slowly. Try and keep it in your fingers as much as possible. Get your hand really relaxed. Do, do, da, da, dum. Just like that. So when we put it together, just like that. And after a little bit, you can kind of explode out of it, but it's gonna take you a while to get to that point. All right, the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next one, this is where our left hand changes for the first time. If you know chords, this is a D minor second inversion. So a D minor chord has D, F, A, but in this instance, we're taking the A, putting our pinky there, and then we're just gonna play with fingers 2, a D, and an F with our thumb. Same rhythm, so it's just going A, bum, bum. If you're not used to playing chords, just practice that switch a couple times. You're just going from your 3 in your thumb to your 2 in your thumb, but your pinky stays put. Especially in this piece, since we shift positions a lot, anytime we have what I call an anchor note, something that we can stay grounded in, we need to take advantage of it. All right, and then you can see our right hand is now shifting from our A position up to the D position. Now where our thumb goes to D, but we're actually gonna do the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that, all together. And then get this, we're gonna go back to the A minor chord in our left hand, put our thumb up here on this A, and we're just going all the way up. And the first 6 lines are gonna sound like this. before we move on, something to note. This left hand needs to be quiet relative to the right hand. That's what we want to hear. Not... Well, you can see the difference. It's actually kind of hard to play that way. All right, here's where our theme changes a little bit to the offbeat part. So from here, we're playing a second inversion C chord. So let's just, this is actually really easy. From our A minor, we're gonna keep the C and the E. We're just gonna move our pinky down to G. So it's just like that. This rhythm is really cool. If you can notice, there's a rest on beat 1. Rest. So rest, bump. And before we go on, the right hand now needs to be in a C position right here. So your thumb will be on C, pinky on G, and then you'll just take every note up in between there. For this whole passage right here, it actually fits perfectly right there. You will not have to move your hand. So here we have C, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2. It feels exactly like that. 3, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2. 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 1. Da-dum-ba-dum. E, E, F, D, D. That's the rhythm, and it actually does it for the next part as well. And so we just go C, left. Oh, whoops, I haven't taught you that left hand part yet. So from here, we're on this C second inversion chord, and next we're going to a G dominant 7 chord. So for this, what I would do is put finger 3 on B and move your thumb to F. So you're just moving outwards 1/2 step in each direction. 1 and 2 and that's what we play with the D. And it's right on the beat. 1, 2. So all together. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Practice that. And for the next measure, we just stay on that same G dominant 7 chord. And we're going. Notice that there's a tie right there between the measures. This means that we hold the note down and don't play it again. But on the next offbeat, we're gonna play our pinky on this G. Like that. And it's 5, 2, 3, 1 will be the next beat. And when we land on the 1, we're just landing on a C chord with no G. So we just have a C and an E. So let's practice all the way up to there, starting from measure 7. That's how it sounds, just like that. For the next beat, it's 1. Notice we just play an E octave in each hand. I'm playing it with finger 3 in my right hand and my thumb of my left hand. One more time, the whole passage sounds just like this. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Starting from measure 11, we're actually going to repeat the very first thing we played. And then, believe it or not, measure 15 is the same exact thing as the second thing we played, but with a different ending. So going into the next part with the syncopation in the right hand and the C chord in the left hand. So this is where we ended last time. The first time we went to that E octave. This time we're gonna go up here with our pinky and play a C. Cool, so starting from measure 11, let's hear how all that sounds together. Here's where the piece does get a little bit more challenging because our left hand has to play things that we might not be used to playing in the left hand. Notice it's a G sharp right here. And our pinky for this part and our right hand needs to be on E. So you'll notice we're in this kind of A position again, like what we started the piece out in. But in this instance, we're actually doing it in the key of E instead of the key of A this time. So for this part, finger 3 in our left hand is going to be on this G sharp, and we're going to go 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this right hand melody is awesome here. 1 and 2 and 3. Well, not 3, it's 1 and 2 again. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and you can notice from 19, 20, 21, 22, it repeats that same pattern. It's 5, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 1. The last one it's going to go is go up to an A octave. So we can go ahead and practice that in the right hand. Get that all worked out. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. Just like that. Left hand. And it fits together. Just like that. And notice right here, we're doing a full hand position switch in our left hand. This 3 on G sharp, we're going to move our pinky to the A now, and we're just going to do a 5-finger scale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to be pivoting back and forth. E. I mean G sharp, but it's an E chord. Practice that. Like we did for the last one, we have to do it really slowly. For this, you might have to for a few days or maybe even weeks. And. For stuff like this, greatly exaggerate it. Really work those left-hand fingers. Your left hand might feel really stiff, especially if you're not left-handed. I'm not either. Putting them together. Cool. If you want to play that last downbeat, just put your finger 3 on a C sharp. So together. Just like that. This is something you might have to play over and over again. Maybe just dedicate one day to these 4 measures to get them sounding really smooth. Whoops. All right, moving on to measure 23. Our pinky's now on A, and we're going to do the same exact thing, actually. 5. And right here, we're doing something very similar, actually. We just go 5, 2, 3, 2, 1. 5, 2, 3, 2, 1. Or A, E, F, E, D. Using that same 5-finger position where our thumb on the D there. And here we're actually doing the same exact thing in the left hand, just starting on a C sharp. We jump up to the D with our pinky this time. Cool, so going on to this part. So going on to this part, it sounds just like that. So it sounds. And right there, it's really important, both of our index fingers end. The left hand is on a G, the right hand's on an E, because this next 2 measures is probably the trickiest of the whole piece. So we're gonna go one more time. Right there, we're on our index fingers together. So before we move on, measures 19 through there sound like this. And jump. That's where we got to. All right, these next 2 measures are kind of tricky, but they don't have to be. Right here, we're starting with our index fingers. I don't recommend practicing hands apart too often, but for this, we are going to learn hands apart for just a minute. Starting on the and of 2, measure 24, we have E, and then we go 1 and 2, and we're going to go down to our thumb on A. E, thumb, 3, 2, 1, and we end with our thumb on A. And then right here, our finger 2 is going to cross over, play a G sharp, pinky plays an E. So that whole part, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, and 5, like that. All right, do that over and over again until you get it. Also starting on the and of 2, finger 2 is going to be on G, the left hand. And 1, thumb crosses under this F, and then we're going to go down to D. So, and 1 and 2. So it sounds just like this. 2, 1, 2, 3 on D. Practice that cross under. And then we're going to go with finger 2 on a D sharp here. That's the tricky part. And then we go up to E with our thumb. This is the easy part. We just walk it down, A. Right there, you're actually going to land on the full A chord. And I'll show you why in a second. A minor chord. So here we're going to go like that. Da, da, da. Cool. All right, this is tough, but I don't know if this is the fingering everyone uses, but I use this fingering because it's the easiest. Twos together, our thumbs cross at the same time. That's what's nice about it, and we just kind of fall into it. See, it's really, even for myself, I've practiced this a million times. It's always tricky to me. Maybe it's just me. So together. Lord, I'm telling you. Thumbs crossed together. And this is the part of the piece, every time I've taught it, my students struggle with it too. This is where you're like, oh man, I can't finish this piece. It's tough. All right, let's see if we can do the whole B section now. So we have... Yeah, just like that. You're going to have to practice it a bunch to get it, but follow the fingering that I just showed you. The thing to remember is our thumbs move together, and the other thing that's important is notice we switch to quarter notes in the right hand, so we're not moving on every beat. 1 and 2 and 1. So yeah, well, I'll just play through it one more time so you can really watch it. Cool. Starting from measure 27, thank goodness, 4 measures that you will already know. But here, instead of going to that nice and happy C chord, we're going to, this is an A suspended chord. So it's an A, finger 2 on D, finger 1 on the E right here. So it's 1. Same thing with that offbeat feel though. In our right hand, just put your hand in an A position with your thumb on A and it'll fit perfectly. The right hand part is 2, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, A, E, B, B, C, B, B, C, A. My bad. Cool, so putting that together, in the left hand, we just have the A suspended chord to an actual A minor chord. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's actually really easy because we're keeping our pinky and thumb the same. We're just changing finger 3 right there. So putting them together. All right, if you don't know about repeats, notice that this measure right here has the 1 with the little bracket over the top of it, with the 2 lines with the double dot. That means we're going back to measure 19 here. So we're going to go back to measure 19, play through it. The second time when we come through, we're actually going to go on to measure 2, which I'll teach you on the next turnaround. So let's put measure 31 into it, and then we'll come back through. So we go to the suspended chord, that's a G suspended, to the A minor suspended. See how we fell into that? It was just A and 1 and 1. You can practice that too, I recommend that. We're right back into it. Oh goodness, and then we go into our new suspended chord. Here, we're going to be at the second ending, so let's go ahead and learn the second ending. Oh, what's that? It's the same thing. Not quite, though. The first measure is the same. Da, 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 da. A, B, C, D, A, just like we did before. But this time, we're going straight to that second chord, the D minor. And we're climbing up. So that's pretty cool. Just shift up to your D position like we did earlier. And we're going to be playing that D second inversion chord, the D minor. But check this out, it's a pattern. We do it first in A, D minor. Same thing on A, same thing on D minor. So notice we're just climbing up. It's a lot harder than it is. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, go to the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to the A. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, go to the D. That's that whole part. All we're doing in the left hand, switching. Together. This part's cool. Let's see, 37, 38, 39, measure 39. We're going to 2 E's. My right hand is on the E that's just right above middle C. My left hand thumb is an octave below that, and we're just gonna walk down together. Work that out. It's not supposed to be. We want it to sound like one note, but not smooth and legato. It's kind of kind of forcing its way. Stuff like that too. I love to build into it. Not so obvious. So play that a bunch of times in a row. And then that last chord, we have a rest to get there. We have to jump up. So I recommend and try and find a time that you can fit that in. Let me tell you what those notes are. In the left hand, we're just playing an A and an E. In the right hand, we play C, E, A. So just practice landing on that. Notice we got a fermata. We can make that dramatic and hold it out. Really go into it when you play. Sell it. All right, so pick a tempo that's good for you. 1 and 2, 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 and just loop it. And ba 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 bum. Oh man. Yeah, just loop it. And you can even add an extra beat in there like I just did. Whoops. For stuff like this, you gotta almost lift your hands and go to the next one. The other thing about stuff like this, it has to be muscle memory. Because in the speed, we can't physically think, oh, these 5 notes are what I need. You need to just be one to the other, just kind of hopping around. This part's actually really dramatic. We're building up through it, and we end on this big ending. So starting from where the second repeat ends, it goes. I played a B instead. I'll show you one more time. A little slower. Like that, and really fall into it. Gosh, what a spectacular piece of them. If you have any further questions, be sure to just comment down below and I'll do my best to answer it. But all in all, it's really not that bad. Learn how these chords feel in your left hand. Learn how the switches feel. Keep it so relaxed. If you ever feel yourself getting tense, you're doing it too fast. Slow down. No rush at all. Da, 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 dum. For these, I recommend practicing it in different ways. Da, ba, da, da, bum, ba, da, da, bum, or even legato. Da, 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 dum. And then try and do it exactly how it's supposed to be. But the clear thing about this, and a mistake that I see students make, I'm trying to make it sound like where you don't get every, I did get every note. Okay, you get it. If it was like just a blend, you need to be able to clearly tell when each note's being played. So practice it like that so you get used to playing every note and then eventually speed it up. One more time, I'll just do a quick review from the beginning. A minor, slow and playful. E, repeat. Oh, this would be, go up the octave. Whoops. The new ending. Repeat. I'm telling you, I always struggle with that part. And then going back into, wait, I'll do it good. Go straight into the second ending. I hope this video was able to help you guys. One thing I would recommend to anybody is really try it how I was talking about the chords. A minor, D second inversion, C second inversion, G dominant 7 root position. Try and learn those chords as best as you can. And you can just pick out some things that I tell my students, pick out your favorite pop song and just play through the chords And once you play through chords or stuff like that, you start to get used to how the piano feels. So then when you see this classical music, you're like, oh, just an A minor chord. That's easy enough. In an A minor position. And with stuff like this too, don't rush it. Take your time. Stuff like this takes a couple weeks. Set goals. So if you're a new piano player, maybe just take 4 measures a day. Da 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 dum. Do 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 dum. Have fun with it too. But the way we practice is the way it reiterates itself in our mind. So the next day when you play it, if you've practiced it very diligently, whatever. When you go to sleep at night, it's going to be playing that in your head. And the next day, it'll be even better. But if you practice sloppy in a way that's not very good or not what you should be doing, you're going to sleep and your brain's going to remember that. So if you get anything from this, look for habits and take it very slowly. This is one of my favorite pieces to play, and it really is attainable to everybody. It is a little bit of hard work at first because those left-hand parts are pretty challenging, especially for a beginner piano player. Like I said earlier, if you have any further questions, let me know. I actually do teach lessons online, especially for the summer. I do have openings, so if you're watching this video and you want lessons, find a way to reach out to me. We can connect and just talk about pricing options and stuff. I am very affordable, and I try and make it that way because I love teaching piano. And if you want to connect with me, we can do Skype lessons or whatever. And if you like these kind of videos or just general piano lessons, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.